tell you what happened to me yesterday. Two things, completely unrelated. I filmed content for my short form platforms like TikTok and Facebook and Instagram, and it was just so pants that I never got it posted. So yesterday was one of the few days where I didn't, one of the rare days where I didn't post anything on TikTok aside from a subscriber video. It was just, I went to see the herd on the fell and I spent time with them and I recorded three videos really. And one of them I actually went to the trouble of editing it all together as well, and it took ages and it was still rubbish, and that's why I didn't post it. It took ages to edit together because it was rubbish, and I kept editing it here, cutting that bit out, listen to it again, cutting that bit out, like, oh, do I want to post it? And I just kept asking myself over and over, do I even want to post this? But then I'd put all the work in, and it was so late by this point that I'm like, I'm not going to get anything else posted if I don't. And in the end, I decided not to. I fell asleep listening to it again, and I'm just like, no, it's not worth it. I thought I'll post it in the morning if it's worth posting, and it just wasn't. It was just, I didn't make any decent points. I think I almost got a message across that I was not intending to. Um, it was just boring, not succinct in any way. It was just, oh. So all the time I went through, and it was clips of all the ponies. So I'd gone around all the ponies and got a little clip of each of them and put it together, and it was just, no, I'm not posting it. So all the work gathering it, the work editing it, and just didn't post it, and then had nothing to post. The other two I didn't even bother editing because again they were just rubbish. So no, so no content posted yesterday, and then completely, but work gone into it as if I like the same amount of work gone into it as if I had posted three videos, and then completely unrelated, I ended up in the middle of the night, like 3:30 a.m., climbing over the wall to get into my own backyard, having got locked out. So Jack needed to go out in the middle of the night, which isn't like him. He's obviously got a slightly upset tummy, and we haven't got a garden. We've just got a tiny little yard, which he won't toilet in. So we had to go out. So we went out back into the back alley, and I thought it's not a very windy night. There was no wind. It's very still, in fact. But I do know that my backyard gate, if it shuts, it's like a proper door gate. If it shuts, I can't open it from the outside. The latch is broken, so if you try to lift it from the outside, it just doesn't lift the latch on the inside. It just sort of spins round and round. And I knew this, but I didn't prop it open because it was so still. I thought it's not going to shut on its own. And then I'm walking Jack down the alleyway and I hear this click behind me. I'm like, oh no. So I'm in my PJs, slippers, and dressing gown, like in the dark. I did have a torch with the dog with diarrhea in the middle of the night. So I tried bashing it a bit. I thought all I'm going to do is wake up people. I don't want to do that because I'm in my PJs. So I ended up using my neighbour's wheelie bin, which luckily was full. So I could at least, like, it was quite sturdy, pushed up against my back door, my yard gate, and climbed up on top of it to go over the top of the wall into my yard and drop myself down the other side, which actually was surprisingly doable. I wasn't sure. I thought, I don't know what's going to happen here. You know, when you think you might get to the top and then fall off the other side, splat into your own yard, or like get my limbs all caught up. So I'm there on the top trying to organise myself to drop down the other side. Nothing to drop onto, just had to drop. But I ended up just hanging myself off the off the top down to the it was actually, yep, surprisingly doable. I'm glad about that. So otherwise, I'm not sure what I would have done because the front door was obviously locked. So I couldn't go around to the front either. What a ridiculous situation to be in. So I didn't get a whole lot of sleep and didn't get any videos posted, and yet did all the work to get videos posted without actually getting anything posted. Apart from I did have my subscriber video and interestingly, my long form one. I'd recorded a long form content for YouTube in the morning while I was doing feeds. So I had that at least. So that'll turn up for the book. Isn't it, Edie, that I actually had long form content to post and not short form? So this is my long form content for today. Today's gone much better. I've recorded one, two, four videos, three or four videos already for short form, and edited one, two already. So I'm pretty, on top of the game. I know of creators that post like 8 videos a day, and I just don't know how they do it. I know that I take too long to edit is part of my problem. I take far too long to edit, and this is why I don't know why I'm better at long form. Well, I'm not saying I'm better, but I somehow can talk a bit easier. Maybe because I haven't got to be succinct, I can just blah blah. But when I try on short form, I just say the wrong thing over and over and over again. So I have to cut out my saying the wrong thing bits. I just don't know. I'm just not meant for short form, I think, or I just need to get better at it. Maybe have more of a plan of what I want to say. But saying that, if I've got a plan of what I'm going to say and it's in my mind what I'm going to say, I try to rush it and I end up falling over the words, don't I, Ed? Because I'm like, I know the sentence in my mind of the words I'm going to say, and so I try to say them all in one go. So they all just come out at once, and I stumble all over them. So maybe I'm just not cut out for this. I just need to get better. But then you think I've been doing it for 3 years. You'd think, or maybe at some point it'll just click, and I'll just be better at it. Because I could post a lot more short form content if I was better at recording it succinctly, so the editing process was shorter, quicker, and didn't take me so long. It takes me so long just because of all the, the editing is weird. You have to listen to it over and over again. Cut out that bit, listen again. Cut out that bit, listen again. Shorten that bit. It's just. And then I add captions, which are important, but I also edit all my captions. I know a lot of creators don't edit. You've had ads. Creators don't actually edit their captions because they don't need to, but I need to because my auto captions that TikTok will generate for me are so wrong. Like the words are so wrong that I don't think people would get the meaning of what I'm saying, which is obviously the whole point of the captions, is if I've not spoken clearly enough for people, which obviously I don't. I'm a bit of a mumbler, a bit lispy, I speak a bit quickly. So if people don't catch what I'm saying, they need the captions. But if the captions are not accurate because I'm so mumbly and lispy that even TikTok can't get the words right. If they're close, fair enough, but when they're not close, so I go through and I edit them. Although a video did come out recently where somehow the edits had not saved, so when I posted it, I just saw recently that I'd posted it and the captions were all wrong. And annoyingly, it was one where I'm saying all the ponies' passport names, so it spells all their names wrong, which is bad because I want the names spelled right at least. Anyway, doesn't really matter at the end of the day, does it? So yeah, that's something which takes me a good while, editing the captions. And then sometimes, like in the case of that video, TikTok just doesn't save it. So I do the editing in CapCut, and then I upload that to TikTok, and then I put the captions on there. And yeah, sometimes TikTok just doesn't save your edits to the captions, so you then have to do that again, sometimes multiple times. And yeah, so it'd be quicker if I didn't do that, but I think it's quite important that I do. I think I have quite a lot of people just not catching what I'm saying, and at least I know now when people tell me, "Oh, you have to slow down. You speak too fast. Slow down. I can't catch what you're saying." I'm like, "Well, I have got captions on, so." And I know that a lot of my subscribers on TikTok have said, "I've listened to you on like 2 times speed, so you definitely don't speak too quickly." But yeah, I was particularly over Passion Paddock series when I was reaching a lot more people for a spell, and a lot of international people, I think. Maybe Americans just speak more slowly. Maybe that's it. I feel like it was Americans largely that were like, "Wow, you speak quickly." Some of them, oh no, or they were saying, "Hey, quit jabbering." That was one that made me laugh actually. Quit jabbering. Like, I thought I was making content, but apparently I'm just jabbering, which actually probably was quite an accurate description of what I was doing at the time, because I was literally blah 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 about Patrick and Miss Snuggles, and just and I think at that point, because I was repeating myself quite a lot, because I was getting asked the same questions, and people were coming to the videos and wanting to know what's the paint on her bum, or no, what's the red on her bum, why she got blood on her bum. It was raddle paint at the time, which we used to mark the mare to know that when the stallion's been on, for example. And I can't, there's lots of repeated questions about the Passion Paddock series. So I'm saying the same thing over and over. So I think I was just on autopilot, churning it out at like top speed. Quit jabbering. Right, well, I might quit jabbering now and leave these two to it. So Patrick and Edie are doing pretty well. We're going to move them out of this field pretty soon before I go away for the week. They were just here really to eat off the edges, which they've kind of done because now they're eating the middle bit again. So then I don't know if Farmer Rob wants to make another cut on this one or not. It's got a few dots coming through. But anyway, we're going to move these two off it, I think, back to a field at Farmer Rob's before I go. I think we're also going to move Annie and Storm this week, so they're not in the barn field for while I'm away. Possibly Charm and leave Lulu with MJ, or possibly MJ to the fair and leave Charm with Lulu. One of the two combos, I think. I don't think that Lulu's owner is going to come and do her at the barn field, I think, rather than move Lulu. My concern was that Lulu, if we end up merging Annie and Storm with Belle and Ginny, which would be the plan, but only if things seem nice and calm. I don't know Belle that well yet, and I know she's got a mean double barrel on her, and I don't want that heading in Annie's direction. And Storm's obviously quite bossy, and if Belle's bossy and Storm's bossy, I think there might be fireworks, and if there's a foal in the middle. So I'm not totally 100% that we're going to mingle them, but we can at least have them next door to each other. And just putting Lulu in the midst of that I don't know. She could be an amazing companion for Belle, or Belle might be really mean to her. I just don't know. So I'm just in two minds about Lulu because she's just so little and old and slow that I don't want her to have to be in a position where she needs to run away from anything or get out of the way of anything without, to avoid being kicked. So we've got a few moves to do this week before I go, and also this week before I go, I'm just busy thinking about what I need to tell the people who are looking after. Like, say there's someone going to be checking the fell lot. So what do I need to tell them to particularly look out for? I mean, they're obviously a horse person, so they know how to do your normal checks for anything, eyes, joints, lameness, blood, all that kind of stuff. But things like I want them to check Nell's bag, just make sure she's not bagged up weirdly and looking mastitis-y or anything that might indicate either Callie's not nursing or Nell's got an infection or both. Check Callie's bum, make sure she's not developing any diarrhea again. She hasn't, so hopefully we're at the back end of that, but just in case, keep an eye on her bum. It's the sort of thing you might not notice if you were just doing a general check. What else? That's more or less it, I think. Nothing else I'm too worried about with those guys. um yeah, just general keeping an eye on them. Lynette supplement. I think I was going to say Lynette can maybe leave off her supplement for that week, and it might be interesting to see if there actually is any difference. I'm not, we don't know that it actually does anything, but if Lynette supplement is doing something to keep her sound, then while I'm away, it's probably not a good time to take her off it. So I'm thinking let's keep going with Lynette supplement just to make sure she stays as sound as she is, so things are straightforward for the people looking after them when I'm not here. And other than that, I think it's pretty all right. I think everyone's sort of set and the ponies are set, and it's going to be hopefully really straightforward. Right, I'm going to go home and get some short form content edited and posted to make up for yesterday.